Well, Trent, it's a point, but against the team that's been your big rivals, does it also feel like a bit of a statement and a step forward for this new-look Liverpool?
I think there's definitely a result that better than what we got here last year. We haven't had too many good results here in general, to be honest. But it's a points game. We take the point. It wasn't an amazing performance from us at all. But like I said, we take the point, and there was positives. We had our chances to win the game, really.
That's interesting. You're probably more down about the performance than I thought you would be.
I don't think we played particularly well, first half especially. Their formation and the way they set up really challenged us. And they have a lot of bodies in there, and it's difficult to play against. But we regrouped at half time. I think we came out second half with a bit more of a game plan and to press them. It's always difficult. It's just subconsciously when you play against Man City, you've got a lot of respect for the team and the way they play. So just automatically you think you can't really get tight to the players, and you stand off them a little bit, and that seems to be the problem in the first half. I think second half we definitely put that respect to the side and thought, let's go for it. We have to come here and try and get a result, and that's what we did.
The manager wanted you to be compact. Obviously part of your job is to pull into midfield. Did it feel, probably for both teams, very condensed in there and very hard to play through the thirds?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of the way they broke us down was probably round the side rather than through us, and likewise with us. It was not really a game for penetrating through the middle. It was more around the outside and a little bit in behind. But like I said, they have a lot of bodies in there, shift the ball well, ball players who can really manipulate the ball. It's difficult to get near them. But like I said, second half, thought we were a lot better, and we had our chances and we took one.
Well, you did, yeah. Blimey, for you, how big was the job today? On one hand, you've got to obviously get out to your flank and stop Doku, but you also got to pull in and influence play. So there's a lot on your to-do list. Yeah,
for sure. And I think there was potentially a game plan to stop me from getting the ball in midfield. At least that's what it felt like, especially in the first half. I think.
Go on, just on that. What did you sense in terms of them wanting to stop you?
A little bit of a marking. I think Bernardo was very close to me a lot when I was pulling inside.
Quite a compliment.
I mean, I could be completely wrong, and I could just be talking nonsense. But I'm pretty sure that was the game plan. It felt like that. So it was about trying to get on the ball in different ways, and I think I adapted to it. I tried to pull out a little bit wider. Tried to just try and get on the ball as much as possible, but also free players up and get Macca on the ball, get Dom on the ball, get Kurt on the ball, and Ryan when he came on, especially, who get on the ball and drive forward. The players that can really get us up the pitch, and I thought we'd done that again, especially well in the second half.
Tell us about the goal.
Yeah,
What did you see?
An opportunity, that was it really. Got the ball from Mo and thought hit the target, get it across goal. I could sense that there was bodies. It was just a touch and get it across goal, and obviously it was a good finish into the far corner. And it was one that we needed as a team.
It looked like you enjoyed the moment with the City fans, with your celebration.
It's always good to celebrate in front of away fans. You get to see the different faces, and it's funny. But it was about getting the job over the line and getting that point.
Yeah, and lastly, is something really building with this team? You know what it takes now to win big competition. I think you said in the week, we're here to compete win the title. Do you just sense, and will today add to that belief?
For sure. There's been many times we played a lot better against Man City and lost the game. So to come here and get the point is a good result for us, if I'm honest. And it was something that we needed as a team. And I think it just instills that belief that even when we don't play well against the champions, they just won a treble last year, team at the top of the league. If you can't play well and still get a point against them, then at least you're doing something right. And we've dug in deep today. And got that point.
Well, you did lots right, and you're player of the match.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Trent Alexander-Arnold just steps off the field and gives us some brilliant tactical insight into his role and the tactical battle of that game against the champions this afternoon, which has still left them separated by only a point. But it means that Manchester City's grip at the top is potentially slightly weakened because Arsenal have the chance to go above both of those sides today, and Spurs can join them on 29 points tomorrow when they take on Aston Villa on Super Sunday. So is it a good point, Daniel, for Liverpool, do you think?
Yeah, I think they'd be delighted with the result, to be honest. I thought that Manchester City were very good today, but Liverpool continued to press on. In the second half, they changed the mentality. You could see there was an emphasis on pressing high up the pitch and ensuring that they were counter-pressing. And with the change of Gravenberch, I thought it was very influential in the game and helped them get the result as well with Trent's finish.
How do you reflect on it, Mike?
I think City would be frustrated after Haaland scored that goal. You're thinking, can they kick on and go again? Can they go up a gear? It never really happened. I think the tactical battle was amazing. Normally when we see Liverpool Man City, it's normally high intensity, end to end. It wasn't that today. If you talk about Trent mentioning in the interview there, you had to really go down the sides where Doku was and Salah on the other side. So I think Man City will be disappointed that they couldn't, it's international break just coming back, but disappointed they couldn't go another gear. I thought they'll be, very disappointed.
It's a step forward, though, for Liverpool potentially, Jamie. Might this be a game they might have lost last season?
Oh, they would have lost it last season. We saw the performance last season. There's no doubt that something is building here. And I think it was interesting to listen to Trent's talking there. Even though Liverpool were 1-0 down at half-time, it felt like the message from Jurgen Klopp was, go for it, lads. Not that Man City aren't that good, but don't almost show so much respect. And I think at the start of the second half, they were pressing a lot higher. Trent was actually going into midfield, where I think Bernardo Silva was leaving Doku to Matip, and almost jumping higher and pressing higher and saying, you know what, come on, we can actually get something from it. But I think what you just mentioned, I think both teams still lacked a little something. Maybe on the back of the international break, they've had one training session before it where they weren't fully fine. I don't think either team really done enough. Even though, Manchester City were better on the stats, it didn't feel like that watching the game that anyone really deserved to win the game.
I felt at times within the game, we know Man City like to have the patience, and there was so many times in the game I thought Liverpool pushed their line right up, and it was almost like they wanted to go to feet all the time. They needed to mix up the game today, go over the top. Haaland was always doing that run where he comes short to go long, but no one found him today.
Yeah. And I think, to be fair, from what Jamie was saying, I think those games after the international break, specifically players who were travelling from South America and those types of places, that little bit of jet lag, you're getting in early kick-off, 12:30, you're thinking, I'm getting up a bit, feel my eyes a bit tired. But then in that second half, you can see that guys livened up a bit. Even on the City side as well, I think they started better. And then when it comes to the second half, it was probably a bit more of an even game.
So that's why I suppose we were restricted to so few chances and a game really of not too much risk from either side. But where did City's opening goal come from, Jamie?
Well, Liverpool, we mentioned at half-time, Alisson, who didn't have his best game today, he was really poor on the board. He could have cost Liverpool towards the end of the game a couple of times with his clearances, but you've seen him do that before and pull it off. It's fantastic from Ake and Trent, who's man of the match, but he's not great. He's got to do better in those situations. There's no doubt about that.
Be more physical, engaged?
Yeah, you look at, listen, it's not just the fact that someone goes past you, it's the body language. Look at someone like the pace he's going, it's still not great, but Trent's got to be more intense, got to be on his feet, it's got to be tougher. Certainly for Nathan Ake, he's a left-back going past you, that's the big problem for me. But, Daniel, you mentioned at half-time, the touch there from Nathan Ake and then the ball into the man, Haaland.
Yeah, I just think the way he manipulates the ball, you talked about earlier on, how he positions himself in that little, in between the centre-halves. And the first touch, how quick he does it, it's back, in the back of the net, no messing about. And I think how lethal he is, you see he checks his shoulder there, and it's almost like, this is how much time I've got. I've got maybe 1-2 seconds to get this out my feet and put it in. And he just did it perfectly, to be honest with you.
Daniel, when he has that look there, and you've been in that situation, and then you see how quick he is with his control. So he has that look now. He knows how close Van Dijk is. Is that why he gets those touches off really quick and gets the shot off quick?
Absolutely, yeah, because if I'm dilly-dallying in the box, sometimes you do have time, but if you're dilly-dallying in there, especially against great defenders as well, you're not getting your shot off and they are going to block it. So I think he knew, I've got to do this as quick as possible. And when you are training, it is about time faults, like, you've took too long, no goal if you're doing the shooting drills. So it's about getting out your feet and getting it off.
But is that the difference with a player like Haaland? If that first touch is a little bit bobbly, is the chance gone?
Yeah, 100%. It depends. It could have been a touch where, say, his touch isn't so good. Maybe he can manipulate a little bit if he believes in himself technically. But the way he does it, but in that you take your touch, you get it at your feet, and you put it in the back of the net. There's just no messing about.
Is that the difference between him and Nunes there? These little details you're talking about at this moment in time. I'm not putting Nunes down, but just the difference at this moment.
I think it's probably different types of players. I think Haaland's probably used to doing this and playing and positioning himself in these places. Can I?
Yeah, the thing I find fascinating there that I think is unbelievable from Haaland, this is all happening in a very small space. I mean, Nathan Ake is 10 yards away from him. Now, he knows the exact moment where he thinks, okay, I can now look. So, because you think Ake's going to pass you the ball, I've got the look. If he then passes it, you're not ready. So he knows Ake's not going to pass it just at that split second. I can check my shoulder, now I can back, and now I'm in. And this is all happening in half a second. And this is that's why he's the best. He's the best in world football as a centre-forward right now. But you think of the time frame, the small space between players, you can still get that look off and still be ready to receive the pass.